Hi there. I'm here with Honey Weidman, one of the fabulous agents that we have at Keller Williams Tampa Properties. And it's Friday, so it's our Agent Spotlight Day. And today I'd love to introduce you to one of our top producers. And I asked her to spend a little bit of time with us today and talking about her background, all of her success, and some advice that she has for anyone interested in real estate. So Honey, thank you so much for spending time with us today to make this video.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So let's start with your background, Honey, and how long you've been in business.
Sure. I have been with Keller Williams Tampa Properties. This will be my 5th year. I am an interior designer by education and trade and have been doing that for 20 years.
Wow. And tell me how your background has contributed to the success that you've had as a real estate agent.
I think that it has been a wonderful gateway drug to real estate. I was working hand in hand with realtors all the time. It made sense for me to work that part of the business as well. And I'm so glad that I did make that transition. And now I actually am working way more real estate than I am design, but it's something that I bring to my real estate clients.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So when you think about your specialty, have you been focusing on a certain segment of the population or demographic? Share with us a little bit about your specialty.
Yeah, well, so I help all kinds of different people. I don't just focus on one demographic, but I do specialize a lot in luxury pre-construction. I think it's important to have a number of different feeds into your income and into the people that you help. So luxury pre-construction is one. I do work very heavily in West Chase in the Tampa Bay because that's where I live. And then I work with a number of estate planning attorneys, and I help families who have lost a loved one get rid of, for want of a better term, or end that estate and turn those sales over.
Yeah. So there's a word that you keep using in our conversation, and it's work, right?
Yeah.
I work. And you and I were talking a few minutes before we made this video. So let's talk about how, the opportunity that all the opportunities that you've had, not just this year, but in the past. What does your day look like? What do you attribute all of your success to?
Well, certainly work is part of it. It's a grind. People think that what we do is very glamorous and we drive pretty cars and we wear pretty outfits. And it's a grind. I work every day and I'm happy to do it. And I make sure that I always tell people I'm a mother and a wife first, and then I am a realtor and a businesswoman. Sometimes I feel like the scales tip one way or the other, but I focus very, very much on what I'm going to do next. So if I have my goals, I know what I need to do. I hold myself very accountable to getting those things done. But I have a system. I get up in the morning, I walk my dog, and then I time block things out so that I know that I'm on track. I know what I'm doing next. I'm never just sitting there wondering what I'm doing next. But it's always work.
Always work. And you and I, because I know you, right? You spend a lot of time using social media as a platform. And so, talk to us about the month that you've just had, right? March.
Yeah.
An amazing month, and you've had some first. So will you please share about where all of your customers came from and your success there?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been in sales for 25 years. March has been my biggest sales month of my entire career. My customers this month, my clients, came from luxury new construction, estate sale, personal referrals, business network referrals. I actually didn't close a bazillion properties. I think the transactions, I probably had 5, but they were pretty big transactions and some small ones. in there as well. But they came from me developing multiple streams of focus. And yeah, it's a big month. It's something that I certainly have. I had not ever imagined that I would get to the point in my life where this would happen.
Well, and congratulations for that. I mean, you are always upbeat. You're super focused. You had already talked about that. Every day you have a plan, you execute on that plan. And I see you on social media a lot.
Yeah.
So, you said that
Well, I
you,
didn't answer that for you. The social media piece of it.
yeah.
I am big on TikTok and Facebook, and Instagram, not so much, but I do repeat what I do into Instagram. So social media has become a tremendous outlet for me to do what I really enjoy doing, and that's educating people and sharing an insight into what I do every day. Again, I talk about the image people have of realtors, which is so glamorous, and it's not a glamorous job most of the time. It's a lot of hard work, and whether it's because I'm hauling out trash cans for a client who's not there, or I'm getting ready for a photo shoot, or I'm doing whatever it is that I need to do to get the job done, I make these TikTok videos. So I'm kind of documenting my subject of whatever it is that I'm doing at that moment. And I'm sharing the insight, whether it's from a buyer's perspective, whether it's from a seller's perspective, whether it's from the agent's perspective, or whether it's from the perspective of a working mom or a working, wife, or just a woman in business in general. I'm also really focused on lifting other women up and making sure that everyone shines together. It doesn't have to be a competition. I make that really, really clear. And that social media message which by the way is my hashtag is lift a sister up, which I have been using for almost 20 years before hashtags I think even became cool. That social media presence has bought me my first TikTok buyer closing, which was yesterday. I am working with a lot of TikTok buyers and sellers. These are people who have come to me who only found me through that platform and have decided to reach out to me because they really liked my message and felt that they knew me and wanted to form a relationship with me to do business.
Yeah,
So.
that's fantastic. Congratulations on that. And I want to point out, you'd said this earlier on a call that we were all on this morning. In fact, you were nurturing that relationship, that buyer who came to you through TikTok. And you had mentioned something about length of time. What was that length of time from the moment that you were introduced to each other via social media, via TikTok, through the closing? What was that length of nurturing?
I think it was about 6 months. I meant to look. I have been busy today working. I haven't had a chance to look that up, but I think it was about 6 months. So yeah, this lovely woman saw what video that I did. She sent me a message saying, "Hey, I really like your style. We've moved to Tampa. We're renting. When we're ready, I'd love to meet you, whatever." So I reached out to her and said, "Let's start talking." And we did. And we just became social media friends. She reached out to me probably 2 months ago and said, "Our lease is up. We're not going to renew because they're increasing the rent by $400 a month." And that was a lot. Yep. And so I connected her with one of our lender partners and said, "Just see if this is an option for you." So from initial reach out to, "Gosh, I actually need someone. Oh, I have someone." She closed yesterday on their new house that I was able to get under contract for them. And I was able, in this market, to get it under contract in a multiple offer situation and get them seller closing costs assistance.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You said
that was great.
You stayed in relationship with this person, and you mentioned something. You said multiple streams, right? That your lead generation is unique. It's the niche that you love and that you're passionate about, but business doesn't only come from one platform. And I love that you said lift a sister up. I love that hashtag. And you do lift everyone up. You teach here at Keller Williams Tampa Properties and also Wesley Chapel location. You're always pouring into others and sharing your successes and sharing what you're doing, and you're inspiring others. So I also want to point out that you're such a valued partner, and we appreciate all that you do
Thank
for
you.
others, including the customers and the families that you've served. So,
Yeah.
we're
What's
proud.
important? Oh, thank you. It's important to work for me to work different price points as well. Um, if you're only focusing on one price point or only focusing on one geographic area, I find that too limiting. There's plenty of business for everybody. It doesn't need to be about getting every single client, but I need to be of more value than just one pocket. So yes, luxury pre-construction is something that I specialize in, and $1 million homes resale and listing. Sure, I do that. But then I also service people who are selling $400,000 homes, and that's a totally different client. It's a totally different marketing skill set. It's just a different stream that I can be useful in. And those come to me through the estate planning attorney relationships that I have. And oftentimes I'm helping people who are in a time that's really sad in their lives, where usually an estate sale is because somebody has passed away, and I help people through that. So these relationships that I nurture are genuine. They are important to me. They are usually lifelong, and they come in all different demographics and price points,
Yeah.
but by design.
By design. I love that. I love that. So is there any advice that you'd like to leave for anyone who's listening in today, watching this amazing video? Any advice that you'd like to give to folks who, might be struggling or who are questioning whether or not they should stay in the real estate business?
Yeah, I think that it's important to remember when you see someone who is doing really well, and they're like, oh, I can never be like that, or I'm so envious, or how come that's not, that it's so easy for them, or there's all sorts of rubbish that goes on in your head when you see someone else that you think is doing better than you. Just remember that they also probably have really crappy days, and they also have months where they earn $0, right? So it's important to remember that we, as much as we try to have this level production of what we do, it does go up and down. But consistency is how you build habits and keep your business going. So I started knowing nobody in Tampa 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Literally, we got relocated. I knew nobody. I knew my realtor, and who was a Coldwell Banker realtor. She's still a friend of mine today, but she wasn't, that wasn't a great lead generator for me to start. So being consistent and doing the things, figuring out what I needed to do, figuring out where I wanted to work, being rooted in community, building community for my family, and then being important and helpful and doing things for my community is really how I managed to build my business. But then consistently doing the things, figuring out how you like to find people to talk to, figuring out what works for you is probably the most important thing. And I don't judge myself against anybody else. I judge myself against me. I don't hold myself accountable against anybody else apart from myself. I'm not a good accountability partner because I'm only worried about what it is that I do. So yeah, consistency, holding yourself accountable, being true, having your eye laser focused on the goal, and making sure that you're always in integrity in what you do, and know that some days are going to suck and some days are going to be amazing, and there's always another day.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. And you're so honest. I so appreciate that about you. Before you leave, will you share what attracted you to Keller Williams
Yeah.
what was it about KW that you found a place for you to call home?
So I started at Keller Williams in Birmingham, Michigan, at Keller Williams Domain, actually. A very, very good friend of mine was broker there, is still. Actually, I own a partner there. And I loved the culture that she was always a part of. And I loved everything about the inclusiveness and the training that was available, because you come out of real estate school with this license and it's literally, you don't know anything. And immediately I had Ignite to go to. So I immediately knew what I was like learning and doing. And I had a thing to do. And then they taught me all the systems. So I wasn't just sort of flapping around trying to sell real estate. I was learning about contracts and I was learning about negotiation. I was learning about the nitty gritty mechanics of how does real estate work and how do I apply it. And then when I moved to Tampa, it was a natural fit, obviously, to go to KW. And then I clicked right back into that same culture because we did the same things and the same training and the same language. But the support and the genuine friendship and the availability. And you can ask anybody, hey, I don't know this. And you're not stupid for asking it. You're like, oh, let me help you. It's just such a tremendous place where you can just go and learn and be supported and have great days, have junky days, whatever. And it's still, you're part of a really great family. And people say that kind of like, ooh, a family, but you really are a part of a family of people who actually care about you.
Thank you for
And
that.
they want you to be successful.
And they want you to be successful. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough, honey. Congratulations again on an unbelievable month. I know that the customers that you've helped are lucky to have you represent their interest. And I know we're lucky to be in partnership with you too. So I know you're in your car because you're always so busy. So thank you for pulling over and taking some time to talk with us today. And here's to another successful month.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care.